We're back at it again. So let's dive right into it. I want to go to the Rydell site and talk about quick bearings for 1 second. They address why quick bearings don't use the ABEX scale. So I want to look at their official statement. I'm blanking on where the official statement is. Now I'm searching, running all around the internet. Wild part about trying to sign into different accounts, especially ones that I'm always in, is how they're always asking me. Have you ever tried to sign into something and then the idea that they asked you to sign in made you just want to uninstall the thing? Like, you know what, bro? Like, I was just looking at this thing. I got it. What if I look for it inside of my history? I'm crying. I'm crying instead of talking. I am crying because of talking because I am desperate. Why are you desperate? Wow. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I think I have it. Here it is. I feel like I spoke too soon. Definitely spoke too soon. I'm looking for the source of something that's being paraphrased. Okay, maybe this is the section that I am looking for. I might as well bring y'all on the visual journey. Why are you crying? I grabbed a snack while I was jumping back on stream. Nope. Mm-hmm. Feels like I'm having a fever dream when I swear I've seen something, and now it's time to show everybody. Like when the WB frog wouldn't dance. Hmm. So this could be all headcanon. Where did you find these sources? Nope. 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 This is me. I almost said the N word. I promise you, this is my video. Stop pulling from my videos. Bruh. I gotta find these sources. I'm gonna dedicate one more minute to this. It's been seven of these. 7 60-second intervals. The Wikipedia is crazy. Let me see if I have it in my Notion. I can't lie. I decided to get my snack on while I was searching. Cause like, bro, you ain't gonna be saying nothing. Man. Okay. Ooh. I'm making all these sounds. It's like I'm beating myself up. Like, ah. Oh. I'm beating myself up with my own decisions. Mm. On one hand, excuse me, I'm pausing super long. On one hand, I feel like I've communicated the point about the bearings. On the other hand, I want to actually show my sources. I guess we have the setup from the weaknesses of the ABEC. You know what, Don Beasy? I'm just being anal at this point. I'm looking for a direct quote, but we found several quotes that spoke about how the ABEC rating isn't the we've seen several quotes about how the ABEC rating isn't the have all be all of bearing ratings, and we also watched a video about it. So I'm gonna say that point's good. Mm, mm. Shouts out to me getting suggested by AI for things that I'm searching using AI. I was like, ain't no way, boy. Anyway, so boom. Why is this important? Why is this important? Let's look at the Rydell packages, and let me say this again. I want to look at the quick bearings, and I want to compare them to different ABEC ratings. So when I'm comparing the Rydell packages to the vanilla packages, we all have an idea of how this stacks up against the ABEC rating. Excuse me. Rydell sells three levels of quick bearings. You can get the Zeniths, the nitrides, or the ceramics. According to user reviews, let's find out. What do we really know about ABEC rating and skating needs? So, shouts out to actually reading an article. Wow. Wow. Stayed up all night for nothing. I should have went to sleep. Like I'm not even displaying this properly. My bad, y'all. Am I here? It should be here. I don't know what was going on. What is this? How did I do that? I stopped looking, bruh. it- excuse me. There are no user reviews in this thing. Quick bearings come in several varieties, like ABEC 5. This is not real. This is not real. No. No! Why am I doing this live? That's why you're crying. I'm officially. I gotta sign in. And I'm so upset about signing in because mother trucker. Why do I have to sign in to Microsoft every 2 seconds? I'm about to drop this service. Microsoft, I hope you're listening. I will drop all of your products if you don't fix this. And half the time it don't be working. What really make me mad is when I try to sign into a Microsoft product, I do all the process and then it tell me I'm not signed in. Like it's gonna send me the code. Then you got to do it again. When you sign in, you type in your password, they send you a code, and then they tell you can't do it with that code. And then I'm like, oh my God. Wow. Back to this joint. So I'm officially out of the working at night game. Because what does Rydell do instead? Labels entry level quick Zenith as ABC5 for basic precision, skips the ABC tag on the Swiss nitride and ceramic lines because those rely on proprietary steel alloys, ultrafine polishing, specialized greases, and corrosion resistant coating, factors ABEC doesn't account for. I just did it again. And then this part where it says sign in for this, and it just gave me all the stuff that I had been doing. Like, why did I sign in? I thought it was gonna. I'm getting frustrated in front of people for no reason. Be entertaining. Let's go to the Rydell site. Let's come into the user reviews. Okay, we gotta see if somebody talked about this on Reddit. AI, I'm gonna come down to your house and fight you, AI, if you don't stop giving me these lying AI overviews. If this isn't a link, lying. Where are you getting this language from? So we got the skateboarding myth. None of these connect to quick bearings. Quick ABEX 7 is crazy. Am I flipping, tripping right now? So we have one site. An ABEC rating is not used for this bearing, but it rolls like that of an ABEC 9 or Swiss bearing. Quick Zenith bearings are designed for minimal resistance with maximum performance. So, according to Bad Girlfriend Skates, from the quick Zenith level, these bearings are comparable to ABEC 9s. Before I come over and I do the vanilla comparison and show the vanilla skates, I just want to confirm if there are any other people who are making a statement directly on these bearings performance. I wanted to get specific and I pushed myself to find all of my notes because I realized I could be lying to y'all. The fact that I didn't know that Quick also sold bearings that they sold on the ABEX scale, that's one thing I have to be real about. So Quick has bearings up to ABEC 9. And then they have the Zenith nitride in ceramic lines. I wanted to come and I wanted to check the sources because according to this AI summary, Rydell labels entry-level quick Zeniths as ABEC5, ABEC 5 for precision. According to this AI summary, Rydell labels entry-level quick Zenith as ABEC5. Then for the Swiss and nitride, it says it skips the ABEC line. But on other reports, I saw that the quick Zeniths came in at around a 7. But the nitrides and the ceramic were 9 or 9 plus. This isn't consistent with the Rydell website. Rydell does not say an ABEC rating, but Bad Girlfriend Skates does. The difference is Bad Girlfriend Skates, she's trying to sell these. Y'all can't see this. Wow. Bad Girlfriend Skates, she's trying to sell these, and having an opaque measuring system when you're trying to make sales doesn't make sense for most manufacturers. However, by not using the ABEX scale and insisting that the Zenith bearings are different because they're heat resistant, heat treated, friction resistant, and they have other things that separate them from the ABEX scale. Let me say this again. I want to say this so it makes sense. By not using the ABEX scale and insisting that the Zenith bearings are different, Rydell puts themselves in a different market. Instead of competing with vanilla and saying that we have the highest ABEC rated bearings, they're differentiating themselves. This is a premium product. They're focusing on features and benefits that vanilla isn't by specifically not using the ABEC rating. However, it makes it a little bit difficult to compare these back and forth. One way I like to compare the quality of products is price. The Zeniths are coming in at around $40. The Quick Swiss nitrides at 95 and the ceramics at 150. Y'all can't see this because I'm in front of it. We have the Quick Berries coming in at 40. We have the nitrides. We have the Quick Zeniths coming in at 40. We have the Swift Nitrides coming in at 95. And we have the ceramics coming in at 150. Let's do a quick internet scan. I'm not sure if we could even buy vanilla bearings. Wow. So the vanilla ABEC 9 bearings are coming in at the price point of the Rydell Zeniths. I'm going to be using this comparison later in the video too. Because just like the coach want to win games, companies want to make money. When we get into companies like Rydell and Vanilla, the cool part is that they play it straight. How much it costs is connected to how much it costs them to make it. They talk to a couple dudes. It's a lot of small businesses working together to bring this to you. So the chances of grift are a little bit lower. That means that every single time we see a Rydell package with a nitride, let me say that again. That means that when we see a Rydell package with a Quick Swiss nitride set on them, they have a pair of bearings that are another level of quality from the vanilla package. This is important. There's a couple of times in the video where we're going to look at two skates that are completely different prices. They're different prices because of small specifications like this. A pair of bearings that's on another level. A plate that's on another level. Anyway, let's keep going. Now that we've talked about bearings, I want to talk about what separates different skate plates. First thing, skate plates are made out of different alloys. Around the bottom rungs is the nylon alloys, and then the next line is be on the aluminum alloys, and at the very top we'll have some hybrids. Am I even right about that? I went to say that I looked at an AI summary about this, but I also looked at an AI summary about a lot of things. Nope, I don't have to look at this. I said that the composite plates were nicer, but I didn't. I said the composite plates were nicer, but I wasn't completely sure if they were nicer. I know that they're mixed between the two different. I know they're mixed between aluminum and nylon materials. However, that quality statement was a step too far. You can get plates made. Let me say this again. Generally, plates are made. Generally, plates composition falls into three categories: nylon, aluminum, and composite, or a mix between nylon and aluminum. So aluminum plates are strong and responsive, but they're generally heavier and they're ideal for aggressive as well as precision skating. Nylon plates are lightweight and affordable. They're great for dance and jam skating where agility is key. Composite plates, they blend both worlds. Well, the thing about vanilla is they use the Gorilla plate on most of their packages. They have it on their junior package as well as their pro series. On their parfait package, they use the Starlight. What's it called? It's not called the Starlight. It's called the Sure Grip Avanti plate. If I was going to rank the vanilla plates in a range of quality, we have the Sure Grip Avanti plate, and then we have the Gorilla plate. So when we're looking at the Gorilla plate specifically, it has a 5-degree action. This is important because the degree of the action of your plates changes what they're supposed to be used for. Plates between a 10 and 20 degree axis are used for more stability and control. So Vanilla's Gorilla plate is coming all the way down to 5. So super stable, tons of control. Well, this is going to be important a little bit later when we start talking about the Powerdyne plate. Let me say this again. I said the action, the Vanilla Gorilla plate has a 5-degree kingpin angle. The way that kingpin angles work is kingpin angles between 10 and 20 degrees are used more for stability and speed control, while kingpin angles of 45 degrees are used more for maneuverability and sharper turns. So the Gorilla plate has a 5-degree kingpin, so it's leaning more into the stability and speed control. This is another moment where I'm like, wow, so they're really connecting it more and more to the jam skating world. The crazy part about reading through this is I hear that we're looking for a 45-degree kingpin for jam skating and dance plates. But when I get on the website, maybe I made a mistake. We'll see that in a little bit. Anyway, let me finish this first part. Now, let's look at some Rydell plates. I might have jumped the gun when I said, let's look at some Rydell plates. We can actually look at these plates while we're talking about them. Ooh, this Vanilla Gorilla's plate is coming in at $80. So the Vanilla Gorilla plate's coming in at $80. The 5-degree kingpin angle offers stability at high speeds and maneuverability while jam skating. 8mm axis, 5x8 adjustable style, 9x16 kingpin. Boom. So rcsports.com. So the vanilla parfait to get specific, the vanilla parfait does not have a branded plate. So it's likely the vanilla parfait has a white label plate. When we go down and we look at the different language on the website, they never mention a brand. Let's go back to some more skates and let's check it out. Yep. So, excuse me. The Vanilla Junior has the Gorilla. Oh, whoa. That was the parfait. Wow. So the Luna Eclipse comes with the Gorilla plate too. Alamo Jelly Roll, Gorilla plate. I spoke too soon. Maybe I should have did the Jelly Rolls versus maybe I should have did the Jelly Rolls versus the Orbits. But Jelly Rolls versus Orbits, they are at different price points. So vanilla uses a combination of the Gorilla plate and a white label aluminum plate. What's a better way to say this? Looking at each of their models, Vanilla uses a combination of their Gorilla plate or a lightweight aluminum plate. Well, on the other hand, Rydell packages are coming with a different level of hardware. Let's check out some of the Powerdyne plates. Okay, so so is a connecting word, and I don't need to say it all the time. Let's start at the bottom. Ooh. So Rydell plates, Powerdyne plates come in a range. Powerdyne plates come in a range of prices. At this very bottom, the Powerdyne thrust plate coming in at $50, but it only comes up to about a size 10. 15-degree kingpin. So it has a 15-degree kingpin, meaning that it's optimized for stability and speed as well. It's not completely up to the 45. I assume that all of these would be at a 45-degree angle. Powerdyne reactor fuse plate. 10-degree kingpin. Let's read it. Let's read it all. I know what it is. I have to adjust this, and that's frustrating. Let's look at the whole thing. The newest addition in the reactor family of plates, the reactor fuse, offers exceptional performance at a great value. The kingpins are set at 10 degrees for superior power, stability, and stopping power. So, Powerdyne reactor fuse. Next level up, Powerdyne Neo reactor. 10-degree kingpin angle for superior push and acceleration. The Powerdyne is built for lightweight, extruded aircraft aluminum that offers durability and rigidity. The Reactor Neo has been stress tested and refined to reduce weight, increase strength, and improve feel. Now, let's take a look at some of the packages that these skates are on. The packages that we're speaking about in the video are the Rydell Boost. The Rydell Boost has the Powerdyne Thrust nylon plate. So the Rydell Boost has this plate on it. The Rydell Boost is going head to head with the Vanilla V line. As we know, all vanilla skates come with the Vanilla Gorilla plate. The Vanilla V line. I'm trying to adjust this so it all makes sense. There got to be a better way for me to do this. Boom. That means that on the V line boost package, Vanilla is out competing Rydell on quality because it has that Gorilla plate. Let's keep going. The next comparison is the OG boots. This is where it starts to get tricky. The Vanilla OG has the Powerdyne Reactor Neo aluminum plate. The Powerdyne Reactor aluminum, let me say it all at once. The Powerdyne Reactor Neo plate is a professional level plate. We're officially getting there. It's a couple steps up from the Gorilla plate. So, one of the things that creates the value difference between the Vanilla V line, or rather, one of the things that creates the cost difference between the Vanilla Godfather and the Rydell OG is components like this Powerdyne plate. This plate is $180 more than the plate on the Godfather, if we're talking retail singular purchases. Next one. Let's come to the outdoor picks. So on the Orbits, we have the Marvel aluminum. So the Marvel aluminum it seems like it might be a step under the Powerdyne thrust because they didn't put the Powerdyne thrust on it. Let's check out the Marvel aluminum before I say something. I said that initially because it's a cheaper skate. These costs got to go somewhere. Ooh, the Marvel aluminum plates coming in at $39. What's the action like? This may be a retail markup. Okay, it's on the Rydell site. Of course, it's on the Rydell site. This is the sizing chart. Okay, I can't spend a huge amount. I can't spend a huge amount. We'll be skating mostly outdoors. I'm a beginner and really don't love these heavy plates. So I'm looking for a fiberglass / nylon plate. She about to cash out. Wheelbase around 158 millimeters. Rock versus Sunlight versus Fuse. Versus Sunlight? Any tips? Something under $125. Worth the cost of switching. Workable with a 57 and 62 millimeter wheels. And durable enough for a year or two of skating for a few days a week. The thing is, $125, that's a Powerdyne reactor. bro, you're currently banned from this community and can't comment on posts. Oh, she's switching from the Marvel cast aluminum. Oh, the Marvel plate is on the Beach Bunnies. Oh, wow. I never knew. So they got the plates from the Beach Bunnies. Oh, they're coming in under the Beach Bunnies. These might be discounted. I know these wasn't 129 during the pandemic. The most underrated skate on the market. I'm looking for the specs though. Kingpin, 10 degree. What are we doing? What is going on? I could have sworn I had a 45-degree kingpin angle. Now that I think about it, it is like 10 degrees. Excuse me. Plate, Powerdyne Marvel. Powerdyne Marvel. So Powerdyne makes these too. I can't even find this thing. Do you, they got this? They are not selling this skate for real. Mardell, Rydell Marvel plates from Rydell pre-order. 505,000 PHP. So this is the Marvel plate, and the Marvel plate is a plate that they use for their budget models like the Beach Bunnies and the Orbits. Panthers? These are the same. They're on the Panthers? I'm just talking out the side of my neck. Ooh, wee. It's the plate on the roller wheel too. I officially understand why people say they got ripped off buying those Moxies. If I bought a $300 pair of skates and it had these on there, and then I got online and people were talking about how heavy those plates were, that's not it. This isn't the right one. Oof, oof, oof. Making sure y'all didn't see any of my no subscriptions while I have my email up. So looking at the whole thing, it's been interesting. I didn't want to come in and do another video where I'm talking about Rydell versus Vanilla and then just without adding something new to it. I really thought I really found it interesting that I came in and looked at these plates and it taught me a lesson in what I was actually skating on. I always thought that rhythm skaters, and according to some AI stuff, rhythm skaters are skating on plates with about a 45-degree angle. But a lot of these rhythm packages are having plates that with a 10-degree to 5-degree kingpin angle. Actually, a 5-degree to 15-degree kingpin angle. I want to write this down and I can get to the bottom of this a little bit later. Yep. Just to confirm this, I swore my kingpin had a 45-degree angle on it. I knew my kingpin had a 45-degree angle on it. Powerdyne reactor neo aluminum, 15 degrees. It's the Arius Powerdyne Reactor Pro Series, 15 degrees. $10. Never would have known. So the vanilla gorilla plate is a unique selling point. Very few plates offer a 5-degree kingpin angle. So it's a extremely distinctive feel that you can only get from vanilla skates. That was interesting. I had fun. I had fun thinking about that last night. Before I get out of here, I have to come in and I have to, with a clear mind, body, and soul, talk about the difference between Rydell and Vanilla Media. Back in my day, Rydell and Vanilla used to compete with their jam skating teams. And that's how I was introduced to these brands. 2005 to 2009, the conversation was who's better, Rydell or Vanilla? They settled it. Every weekend at the rink, they would circle up and the best skaters would get in the middle. Well, this was also around the time where Rydell and Vanilla created their first sponsor teams. Team Rydell was one of the first sponsor roller skating teams ever. Actually, Team Rydell was one of the first sponsored jam skating teams. And they benefited from being backed by Rydell and all of the companies in the Rydell family. Eventually, times moved on. What had happened was competitive jam skating was not as popular anymore. Team Rydell disbanded, and the skaters from Team Rydell went on to do their next thing. After the original Team Rydell disbanded, the Team Rydell sponsored team began to evolve. Now the Team Rydell sponsored squad is 3 different squads that hit 3 different niches. They're still the legacy squad. Then they have their new influencer dance squad, as well as some unaffiliated derby and park skaters. And finally, they're running with the Antica team. So one part of Rydell's community engagement is their engagement in the derby world. They sponsor derby events, and they recently sponsored Team USA at the Roller Derby World Cup. If you're an American, be proud because they clutched up. They didn't just clutch up. They didn't clutch up. The Team USA did not clutch up at the Roller Derby World Cup. They put on a clinic. Every game had a triple digit difference in it. Absolute clinic. Well, Rydell is back at Team USA. Additionally, Rydell is deeply entrenched inside of the Derby world. In addition to their marketing efforts, Rydell has also brushed shoulders with multiple superstars. People like Christy Yamaguchi chose Rydell as her skate of choice. And Christy Yamaguchi got mad gold medals. And then we all know about the most recent superstar who's worn Rydells, Usher. By skating with Rydells at the Super Bowl, Usher immediately exposed Rydell to hundreds of millions of viewers. So, boom. When I was doing the calculation, first I only thought about the big moments. Okay, Rydells were in Whip It. Okay, Rydells were in Birds of Prey. Okay, all the people that skated with Rydells. Okay, but I forgot about all of the people on these skaters' teams. So, in addition to being exposed by Usher skating with the Rydells, every single influencer that skated with Usher also added to Rydell's popularity in this moment. And they continue to. When you keep it for realists and you look at what skaters are wearing in competitions when the game is on the line, they're wearing Rydells. Well, Vanilla not a slouch themselves. In fact, back in the day, Vanilla had an extremely dominant showing at the jam skating competitions because they signed the pound for pound best jam skaters of the generation, Diamond Walker and Tony Zane. This isn't an exaggeration, and I took a long time to figure out the best way to say this. Tony Zane and Diamond Walker were so dominant during the jam skating competition era that they got prestige to the judges' table. It wasn't when Diamond Walker and Tony Zane would skate, it wouldn't be a question about who would win. It would be a question about when they'd get to the finals because a lot of it came down to power moves. Excuse me. Tony Zane currently holds the record for the most backflips on skates. One of the parts of his show and one of the draws for him in Vegas is 10 backflips across the stage. That's very difficult to compete with, especially in the early parts of the sport. Tony Zane's power moves were so powerful that he's still using the power move sets that he created back in the day. They're smoother now, they're fresher now, but he hasn't needed to learn additional power moves and put them on his skates as much as he's added smoothness to his style. In the early days of jam skating, power moves really helped you clutch up. When you added his power moves on top of the footwork that would happen, well, currently, Vanilla does not have an official team. Currently, Vanilla does not have an official team. They're still building their team up. So, in addition to their successes during the jam skating era, Vanilla has also done some shows too. Let's check them out on their website. Prada and Gucci. Proof that the Vanilla team is on hold. The team is on hold, but they still have people that support them and they still have skaters that are sponsored by them. In addition to skates, Vanilla skaters have been active in the entertainment industry, appearing on MTV's America's Best Dance Crew, America's Got Talent, Disney Shake It Up, Nickelodeon's Figure It Out, Fox's So You Think You Can Dance, and many more. So I'm biased making this video because I've been a Vanilla fan since 2005. And as I was breaking down the metrics for this video, I noticed that I was weighting the accomplishments of Vanilla in these shows higher. So I started pushing myself to figure out, where is your mistake? Where is your mistake? The mistake I made was forgetting that Rydell was the competitive standard. Let's come back to these shows. Actually, I don't need to come back to these shows. Let's look at a picture. Tony Zane competed on America's Best Dance Crew with Break Skate. Let's find a good Break Skate picture so we can drive this one home. Why are all these pictures so small? This might be the one. It's the Break Skate website. Yeah, this is the one. Diamond Walker has on Vanillas. Tony Zane has on Vanillas. But what is everybody else wearing? They're all wearing Rydells. And I got to the place where, I know these guys. I never want to come on and tell jokes about one piece of skating and then insult other skaters and insult the other people that put in work. I can't say that Tony Zane was the reason why these teams were successful. For the simple fact that it would be disrespectful to every single skater that makes up these teams, I had to come back and I really had to be like, yo, man. But what this did help me do is it helped me create a ratio. Let's take this picture for a second. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the picture. Six people in the picture. What's the Vanilla to Rydell ratio? 2 to 4. Excuse me. Made simpler. I said 2 to 4. 2 out of 6. The Vanilla to Rydell ratio is 2 out of 6. Made simpler is 1 out of 3. To be fair, long term, I think 1 out of 4 would be better. When I'm breaking down all of the metrics, after I added in the Super Bowl and I added in all of the influencers, let me say this again. I wanted to come up with a final view number for each company. I started off by looking at the influencers and looking at how many people they had on Instagram. And then I noticed that I would need to add up each and every person that has used these skates in order to do a national performance, per se. Well, the estimation that I came up with was, if Rydell has done around 500 million views Vanilla is looking at around 10 million views. Even if those metrics aren't precise, if we broke it down, we looked at each episode, we broke down the shows that they were on, looked at each of these events, I think it would be fair. Vanilla has had Vanilla has partnerships with the jam skating world, and Vanilla has also done partnerships with major brands like Sonic in order to create events like the Sonic Skate Competition. Or rather, they supported events like the Sonic Skate Competition. Rydell has done some of the biggest shows in the world. How many people watched the Olympics? How many times did Christy Yamaguchi win a gold medal? How many people watched the Super Bowl? How much or how much has that Super Bowl performance elevated each skater that was at that performance? What happens when you add all of this up? You get a number that's significantly larger than Vanilla's number. But if you draw a circle in the middle of the rink and you put a line down the middle of that circle and you put one team on one side and the other team on the other side, who really gonna take it? Who's really gonna take it? Before I get out of here, I want to do a couple of quick hits. Shout out a couple of vanilla skaters so that I want to shout out a couple of vanilla skaters so that we can see how vanilla is promoting skaters these days. So Josh, he has vanilla in his bio. He's promoting them on a lot of his posts, and he just won the National Jam Skating League. I would assume that he's sponsored by Vanilla or at least promoting them or working with them heavily. However, I cannot completely confirm. Oh, check him out. In his final round, he's wearing the Anabolics Jam skates. Ooh. Okay, that was clean. Think about his routine. You see him breathing, think about that routine. I ain't gonna hate on him. That was a clean move, but I can tell he worked on that. Not on no like some hater stuff like, oh man, he worked on that. Like oh some yo man, respect. Respect to all the skaters that came out in real life dropped apart. So while while Rydell is supporting derby events, Vanilla supports jam skating events. By supporting jam skating events, Vanilla pushes. Let me say this again. Vanilla, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. That's why I can't say it. Vanilla supports jam skating events. I'm going to open this up and I'm going to find my next observation before I talk. So he wore his vanillas for the battles. Team light skin is crazy. So this is, I say so a lot. Josh battles Dylan in the finals. Dylan's a Rydell skater and Dylan's a Rydell skater. Josh is a vanilla skater. By creating events for Rydell skaters to come and compete at, vanilla gets an opportunity to benefit from their popularity as well. So the same effect where all of the skaters who are skating with the superstars add to Rydell's clout comes to vanilla too. Anytime a Rydell skater comes to a vanilla event, they help them get more popular as well. Ultimately, I'm making hours and hours of videos about Rydell versus vanilla. But when you look at these companies, they're not actually in competition with each other. They sell the same thing, technically, but they sell those things to different people. They also have an amount of coordination that makes me feel like they talked about it before they chose their markets. Like, thinking. While Rydell supports derby events, Vanilla supports jam skating events. They're not competing to be the sponsor at the same sort of events in the same markets. When Rydell sells jam skates, they sell jam skates that cost more or less than vanilla jam skates. They're not competing with the same people in the same market. Finally, all of the designs of vanilla skates that are similar for Rydell skates are for skate packages that are more expensive than the vanillas. So they're also not attempting to encroach on them when it comes to their lead products. The moment that made me feel like this was purposeful when I did the calculation. Let me say this again. The moment when I felt this was purposeful is when I noticed that the Rydell Junior, or rather the Vanilla Junior collection, comes in around the $200 price point. The Rydell beginner speed packages come in the 175 to 190 price point. So at each point in the quad skating journey, Vanilla and Rydell aren't competing with each other. In fact, Rydell, a company that could compete directly with vanilla products, goes out of their way to carve out a space in their niche for vanilla to be in. Ultimately, it's like what my 11th grade AP US history Mr. Maple taught me. I said that statement wrong. Ultimately, it's like what my AP US history teacher Mr. Maple taught me. All boats rise together. We were studying for the AP US history exam, and one of the tenets of the class from the very beginning was sharing notes. We would create our notes matrices, share them together, and then give each other feedback to make our notes more comprehensive. I'm talking with him about getting ready for the test, and I mentioned studying with some other people, and he said, all boats rise together. If you get better and they get better, it's like when boats are in the same body of water. If you add more water to it, all of the boats are going to rise together. And that's how it is in the skate game sometimes. When 2020 came back and dudes was like, hey, yo, dog, we's about to have to wrap it up on bro. We's about to wrap it up. So when the money came back into skating and people saw an opportunity to do something with it, from the very bottom all the way up to the companies at the top, people took that opportunity and they decided to take the energy and do something with it. And I think one of those parts is not trying to cannibalize each other. You can see videos of Rydell skaters on vanilla pages. You can see videos of vanilla skaters on Rydell pages. There's a post on Rydell's page, Instagram right now, that's low key a vanilla sponsorship ad. They don't ever come out and say nothing rude to each other. You know what I mean? Or did they take it down because I said something? Nope, it's right here. In NASCAR, they would never allow this. Sunco infamously forces other gas providers to remove their logos. AT&T, Sprint, they push drivers to change the logos on their cars because they don't like competing logos on their things. So, you know, it's been a great ride making Rydell versus Vanilla. I'm about to get off stream. I'm not going to tell y'all the story because getting to the end of the stream and thinking about how solid of a stream I have, I don't want to add anything else to it. I'm excited to jump back in the lab and finish this video. Until next time.